those children that got adopted under his watch, all the support payments that were increased because of you, Kevin. I can't express enough that this is going to turn out to be all about who comes out to vote, and we got to get them out. I'm trying to talk to everybody I know and say, look, this Supreme Court race is so important for so many reasons. As a Democrat, I can also say today on the Senate floor, I was speaking about redistricting and how if there's one reform that government needs, it's redistricting. And the only way we can get that done is with a good Supreme Court. Because as Democrats, the last couple times around, the Republicans just rubber stamped that redistricting plan and it got worse and worse and worse. So we need to get a couple Democrats on the Supreme Court to give it a little bit more balance than what we have now. So I'm just appreciative that Kevin came up here, took the time. He's just a strong gentleman and a good friend. And for somebody that really does really care. Sometimes you run for an office and I don't know, maybe you want the job, the pay, or the title. But that's not like Kevin's running for the Supreme Court. He really wants to make a difference in people's lives. He's doing it already. He's going to do better at it when he's in the Supreme Court. That's good.
First of all, let me also thank Celeste for the kind invitation. And I'm very proud to be here today with Judge Dougherty. You know, I had the pleasure of meeting Judge Dougherty in the primary election. And Judge Dougherty came up to Northampton County Courthouse, and we endorsed him back in the primary. And I felt very strongly about his record. And as a prosecutor, I can say that I'm very comfortable with Judge Dougherty on the Supreme Court as a prosecutor. And I know there's a tendency to paint all the Democratic candidates for the Supreme Court as soft on crime. That's not accurate. Judge Dougherty has been tough on those criminals. And I know there's some ad going around in parts of Pennsylvania criticizing the judge because he didn't have a crystal ball. You know, we don't have crystal balls. We make decisions every day. And sometimes when people go out in the community, they commit more crimes. And that applies to the DAs and the judges. You know, we do the best we can, but none of us have a crystal ball. But I know one thing, on violent crime, this judge has been there and locks up the violent criminals. But on the other side of the coin, you also understand that we cannot lock everybody up. It's the violent criminals that need to be locked up. So as a prosecutor in Pennsylvania, and I might add as the most senior DA now in Pennsylvania, I'm very honored to endorse again for the second time Judge Dougherty.
Well, I guess it's my turn. Kevin, I met you 6 months ago. You're probably the best candidate I've ever met in my whole life. I've been voting for 47 years. I've never met a man like this. Like any my tradesman would say, this weekend shit or get off the pot. Believe me, I mean it. I am dead serious. This is the most, forget the presidential election next year. That's nothing compared to what we have next Tuesday. If we don't get out next Tuesday and get on the phones and call everybody, don't cry or don't weep this time. This is for real. This is everything. My friends Peter, Michael, we're in Harrisburg. We are getting the shit beat out of us. We don't even have to go to the bathroom. We don't even have to go to the bathroom anymore because there's people we don't have to go to. I'll talk the way I want to be. I don't have a child right For 51 years I carry my union book. And this is the most important time of our lives. Or else you won't have a Democratic Party when it comes to redistricting. All seriousness aside, forget the jokes, forget everything. This gentleman's for real. Believe me when I tell you that. He is for real, and we have to do it. I was hoping to fill up the room. I'm a little disappointed. We didn't have more people here today. But let's just work hard the next 4 days. 5 days, whatever's left, I don't know, I can't even think anymore. 6 days. For you, it's like 600 days. But anyway, I'd like to introduce the next man on the Supreme Court, Pennsylvania, Kevin.
Thanks for coming out on this miserable day. When I look around, I see everybody that's been incredibly good to me. You don't realize when you start out on this trail, this journey, how many really good and decent people you're going to meet. And I got to tell you, as you heard, we have 6 days to go. And I'm going to be honest, I can't wait for it to end.
I know how you feel, believe me.
It's brutal, it's a big state. But the one benefit that I have gotten through this whole experience is that when I look around here, I've developed a personal friendship with each and every one of them. We're going to win on Tuesday. But the one thing, whether I win or lose, is you can't take away, is my new friendships and relationships around me. And it's funny, I'm currently getting beaten up out west because I'm called the Philadelphia judge. Not only am I being beaten up west for being a Philadelphia judge, but a local senator from York, who I'm not going to name, just released an email. And while he said that this is an incredibly important election, he said that there's one dangerous candidate that has to be defeated, Kevin Dougherty. And that's because of my support for labor. Now, if he thinks that I should be ashamed of having the likes of the building trades, labor, AFL-CIO, hard-working men and women on my side, he doesn't realize what a badge of honor that is for me. But for labor, now, you don't have to go too far to know why they want to attack me from Philadelphia. Let's be real. Partly because of the racial composition of my city, partly because most of my city are poor people. But at the end of the day, what are we but individuals who are striving to make life easier for our children and our families? That's why we get up every day. That's why I'm running for this job. I gotta be real honest with you. I'm very happy doing what I do in my county. But now I have one chance to finally get up there and do what I did for Philadelphia, to do what I did there for Allentown, Erie, Pittston, you name it. But I can't do it alone. The Koch brothers have invested $500,000 in attack ads directly against me. And I'm going to tell you what I told Pittsburgh last week. I had no choice where I was born. It was a decision of my parents. But I'm proud of where I am. I am from Philadelphia. I'll never deny that. What most people don't realize, and I tell people, my family are family immigrants. They got off the boat from Ireland at the Delaware River. They walked 2 blocks and they were sent to what was then the Irish Catholic ghetto. Well, guess what? 100 and some years passed, and we're still there. But it's not a ghetto. It's a blue-collar neighborhood where people get along. Being the first one in my family to go to college. You know, I was fortunate. Everybody wants an education. But where I grew up, you had to go get a job. Now, you had to get what you got through working for it. The majority of people in my neighborhood were laborers, firefighters, or law enforcement. There were no doctors and lawyers. People used to say, you'll never make it. I did. When I ran for judge, I had the good fortune. Now I'm running for justice. I actually believe that if you work really hard, you can achieve the American dream, whatever that dream is. I'm trying. But I have 6 days to do it, and I really need each and every one of you. When people ask you where I'm from, it's not where I'm from, it's where I stand. If they want to know where my home is, I'll tell you what I told Pittsburgh the other day. To me, a home is not a place. It's a place where you go in, and you greet it with a smile, you greet it with a hug, and you know that it's okay to be who you are. Well, guess what? No nonsense. I'm just as much home when I look around this room with my close family and friends as I am in Northeast Philadelphia. So that's something I appreciate. Can't take that away from us. The one thing they could take from us is an opportunity if we don't get out to vote. Lehigh Valley, Allentown, you guys were behind me in the primary. Through this entire general election, you've been beside me. I don't want you to leave me. I need you to advance me and get me over that line. At the end of the day, what I've been telling people is when you go into that voting booth and think of the power you have, When you push that button, that moment of your decision will affect my destiny. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm confident to leave my fate in your hands. So at the end of the day, thank you for the phone calls. Thank you for standing beside me. Thanks for coming out on a miserable day. But mostly, thanks for letting me be me, you being you, and developing a friendship.